Hi friends, welcome back to your yoga practice. My name is Jess and this is a short prep class where I'll be teaching you how to step back into down dog with a straight leg. This is kind of like a fun transition and it looks super simple, but there's a lot that goes into it. If you like classes like this, please subscribe to my channel and share it with a friend so that we can grow our community right here on YouTube. And if you'd like to learn more about my offerings, check out my website at jrockyoga.com, and I'm on Instagram at jrockyoga. Come say hi, send me a message if you have any questions. Let's get to it. I'll see you on the other side. So, today's practice will be short and sweet, but I do recommend having 2 blocks with you because we're going to go over a certain way to work your straight leg step back using blocks if it's not quite accessible to you right now. So blocks are an important part of getting this if you're not quite there yet. Our straight leg step back, which looks like this, requires us to create enough space for our entire leg to move underneath us and back to down dog to meet the other leg. In order to do this, what we need is shoulder and wrist strength, arm strength, so that we can press the ground away to create that space. We need core strength and a core awareness of how to engage our deep core to suction our leg up and in. And we do need an element of flexibility in our hamstrings so that we can keep the leg straight the entire way back. So these are the elements, kind of like the ingredients that we are going to be working on today to create or bake our pie of our straight leg step back. So we're going to go over it a few times. First we'll go over it using blocks, and then we'll go over it without using blocks. I would encourage you to maybe warm up a little bit before this video if you've not. And I would also encourage you to keep at this transition. This doesn't happen overnight, and it really does take time to let the seeds of awareness sink in and let our body get used to this type of movement, especially if we're used to just stepping back. This is something new and different, and it takes repetition to get it. So don't give up if it seems impossible or hard at first. All right, so let's start by grabbing your 2 blocks and place them on your mat on the lowest setting where your hands would go. So we're just going to place them about shoulder width apart at the front of your mat. We'll start with your right foot forward. We'll do both sides. Right foot forward, right inside your hand, and come to a low runner's lunge here. So normally what would happen is your hands would be on the mat or on the blocks and you would just press down and step back, right? But in order to get a straight leg step back, we need to create this space between us and the mat so that we can straighten our leg. So we need our hips to go higher and our core to engage. In order to do that, having the blocks underneath your hand gives you almost like a cheat code. And it's not cheating, but it's giving your body and mind the awareness of the space you need to get there. All right, so hands on the blocks, grip your fingers into your blocks. And just like we would in a plank, I'd like you to think about pressing down, wrapping your elbows back, and almost doming the back of your heart up to the sky like we're in cat pose, like cow pose, cat pose, rounding and hollowing the belly. Now, if this still feels like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get my foot back? I encourage you for the first one to step your back foot in a little bit, just so you can get the feeling of your straight leg step back. And at first, it's going to be probably a straight leg pull back or a drag back, which that's completely okay. The more you do it, the more you'll get stronger and more flexible and you'll be able to do it. So step your back foot in, press down through your fingertips, and then I want you to rock back onto your front heel, flex your toes to your shins, and then come up onto your very back tippy toes. Notice that coming up onto your tippy toes shifts my shoulders forward and lifts my hip. That makes way more space. Now, press as much as you can into your blocks, round like a cat, hollow your belly, and I want you to think about compressing your belly towards your thigh. And what that's going to do is lift your heel off the ground. This should be super hard. Good. Now, if your heel is off the ground, just step it back to meet your left foot. That's what this entails. If you're here and it's kind of like and dragging on your mat, that's completely okay. That's where I started too, okay? We all have to start somewhere. But I would encourage you in your vinyasas when you're planting your hands and stepping back to your plank, Each time, instead of doing it that way to get more smooth in this transition, you grip into your hands, come up onto your back tippy toes, and rock onto your front heel. Then press down, round the back of your heart up toward the sky, pull your belly in, and compress belly to thigh, lifting, stepping right foot next to left. And if you do that repeatedly over and over again, one day it will float and it won't drag. Let's try the other side twice and then we'll remove our blocks. Left foot comes forward, right leg goes back. Plant your hands and grip into your fingers. Come up onto your back tippy toes and step your back foot in. Give yourself some grace. We're just starting, right? Step your back foot in, come all the way up onto your back tippy toes. Now rock back onto your front heel and flex your front toes towards your shin. Press down, find rounding like a Halloween cat, and maybe even exhale to hollow your core. Compress your thigh to your belly, and that should lift your heel, and then whoosh, step your left foot next to your right. Now, this time on this side, since we've done it, this is our third time, I encourage you to step forward with a straight leg as well. Come up to your tippy toes. Think about hollowing through your belly, pressing into the blocks, and now suction your thigh bone up into your hip so that your toes lift. Good. Keep that suctioning action as much as you can, as straight as you can, and just step your left foot back to the front of your mat. Whew. Yes, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. This also helps our arm balances, our inversions, and our handstands because we're accessing our deep core. Left side one more time. Press down into your hands, come up onto your back toes, rock onto your left heel and flex toes to shin. Compress belly to thigh, lift, whoosh, step it back. Beautiful. Place your knees down and move your blocks out of the way. Good. So we're gonna move on to trying it on either side with no blocks. If you get here and you're like, this is just not happening for me, then do the rest of the class on your blocks so that you can still be working and still be trying the transition. All right, hands come to the top of your mat, and let's step our right foot forward, coming back into our runner's lunge. Good. So option 2, without blocks, is coming onto your fingertips, okay? And this is how I started, because I didn't always have blocks with me in classes, so I started using my fingertips because my fingertips elevate me as well. But fingers and hands, just like any other muscles, need to be strengthened. So again, this happens over time, but if you're gonna try on your fingertips, let's all try our right and our left on fingertips before we go to flat palms. Come up onto your fingertips, and I want you to grip, almost like there's a cupcake in the center of your hand, and you're trying to squeeze your fingertips in to squish the cupcake, but they don't go anywhere. And then you press down through your fingertips to elevate your shoulders on your back and round. Good. Again, step your back foot in just a little bit, give yourself space. Rock onto your front heel, flex your toes, and round, round, round. Up onto your back tippy toes, take an inhale. Exhale, compress belly to thigh. Whoosh, step your right foot back. Good, and then you can come back onto your palms if you'd like. Let's try to step forward. Come onto your fingertips. Press into your fingertips, grip in, round, come up onto your tippy toes, suction your right thigh inward and upward, and then step with your straight right leg to your thumb. Good. We'll do it more seamlessly up on the fingertips, up onto your back tippy toes. Rock onto your right heel, flex your toes to your shin. Press down, lift up, and step back. Drop your knees, take a breath in, take a breath out, and we'll go to the other side. Left foot on fingertips. Plant your fingertips to either side of your left foot, lift your back knee. When we are compressing our belly to our thigh, compression is something I'm working on. That helps us with our pressing as well, our forearm pressing, our handstand pressing. It also helps us with our forward folds. So all of those are elements that we're working on here in our straight leg step back. Press into your finger pads, round like a cat, come up onto your back tippy toes. Rock onto your front heel, flex your toes to your shin, and compress your belly to your thigh, lifting left leg. Step step your left leg back. And again, it might be a drag, and that's okay. If it's dragging, let it drag all the way back on the mat until it doesn't. Up onto both tippy toes. Press into your right toes and lift. Squeeze left hip into socket, keeping your left leg as straight as you can. Step to your left thumb. Good. Last time, left side. Up on your back tippy toes. Rock onto your front heel, toes to shin, core to thigh, lift. And step back. Place your knees down. Take a little rest. Big breath in. Exhale it out. The more we do it, the easier it gets. And the more you hear these cues over and over and over again, you won't have to think about it. It will be second nature. Up on your back toes, flex your front toes to shin, hug it in, pull it back. This will all come in time, and you eventually won't even have to think about it, just like you don't have to think about stepping back or forward. All we're doing here is teaching your body to use opposite action, force into the ground, and compression to create enough space for you to step back. And that makes us super strong as well. All right, our last step, right foot forward, we're gonna place palms on the floor. So for me, this is something that I'm still working on to get it extremely fluid, but what helps me is stepping my back toes in and bringing my hands not so far forward, but actually a little bit back. Because when they're really forward, I have to lean super forward to be able to step back, and I feel like there's more distance to go. But if I plant my hands a little bit closer to my back foot, that gives me more space. So palms down, grip into your finger pads, and right away press the ground away and round, come up onto your back tippy toes. Now rock onto your front heel, press the ground away, flex toes to shin, right thigh bone up, 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 and step it back. Good. We'll step right forward, inhale up onto your tippy toes, pull right head of thigh bone into you, keep your right leg as straight as you can, and step it to your thumb. Good. See, with my palms all the way down, I don't have quite enough space, so even I can't quite step as far forward. Good. We'll try it again. Plant your hands. Rock back onto your front heel, flex toes to shin, all the way back. Good. Place your knees down. Take a breath in, and take a breath out. Okay. Left side, last side. Come into your runner's lunge. Step your back foot in a smidgen and plant your hands back. I like my fingertips in line with my front heel, around there. Good. And now we're going to grip into our finger pads, press down. Notice the rounding. Come up onto your back tippy toes and rock onto your front heel. Press down more to suction your thigh bone up and step back. Good. Up onto your tippy toes, flex your left toes, straight leg, step forward. Good. Last time. Inhale, up onto your back tippy toes, flex your left toes to your shin and hug it back. And you can elongate your stance now and just take a regular downward facing dog. Big breath in. Open your mouth. Place your knees on the ground. I'll show it to you one final time. We'll go through it together in kind of a flow state. And then that will be it for your prep class. And I really hope this is helping you figure out in your body how to create that space and compression. So let's start in our downward facing dog. And just a quick flow to either side. Inhale your right leg up, and then come up onto your left tippy toes, flex your right toes to your shin. Try to keep your legs straight as you step to your right thumb. Place your left knee down and just reach up into your low lunge. We're going to go right back through, so as you exhale, plant your hands, lift your back knee and step your toes in, rock onto your front heel, press into the earth and suction it back. Good. Inhale, your left leg lifts up toward the sky, come up onto your right tippy toes. Exhale, flex your toes to your shin, straight leg step, left foot to left thumb, right knee drops, and inhale, rise. It can be seamless. As you exhale, plant your hands, hop your right toes in as you lift your right knee. Press the ground away and flex your left toes to your shin. Whoosh. Drag and pull or float your left leg back. Big breath in. Open your mouth. Place your knees down. I hope this short prep class helps you understand the concept of creating space, compression, and working on your straight leg step back. If you like this class, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and please share it with a friend so that I can keep growing this community here on YouTube and that I can keep creating for you. If you'd like to learn more about my offerings, check out my website at jrockyoga.com and come say hi on Instagram at jrockyoga. If you have any questions at all, send me a message. I'd love to be friends. I'll see you next time.